I first met Tiffany in 6th grade. She tried to date me. I don't think I liked girls at that time. We finally got together our senior year. She stayed in Washington State and she went to Whitworth to nursing school. I went off to the military academy in West Point, New York. When September 11th, 2001, I was a sophomore. It really changed my perspective on service to my country. It's not just the military men and women that sacrifice, it's those who are back home praying and hoping that their spouses are doing fine.
On April 6th of 2005, I received a phone call from a doctor who called me in Iraq, and he was shaken up.
My name's Scott Smiley. I live in Pasco, Washington. Married to Tiffany Smiley, and we have 3 amazing boys.
I'm Tiffany Smiley. We've lived all over the country, but have now moved back home.
At the military academy, they call it the 2% club, which means only 2% that enter in with their significant other leave the military academy with their significant
We broke
other.
up for a little bit during that time.
It was not my fault.
It was very difficult, especially at the academy where he couldn't call, you could only write letters. We have boxes and boxes of letters that we wrote back and forth to each other during that time. So we got married after Scotty graduated in 2003.
After graduating from the United States Military Academy, we received orders to deploy to Mosul, Iraq. In building the country, I came face to face with a suicide car bomb on April 6th of 2005. And after the man blew himself up, sending shrapnel through both of my eyes, knocking me unconscious, I woke up about 5 days later in Walter Reed Army Medical Center, blind the rest of my life.
I received a phone call from a doctor. The car bomb that Scotty faced had damaged his eyes. He said, "One eye is completely gone, and I'm sorry, Mrs. Smiley, but I'm probably going to have to remove the other eye." And I'll never forget those words, because that meant he had no eyes. Like, there was no hope for vision.
Waking up, from a medically induced coma in Walter Reed, I didn't necessarily know what had happened, but I knew something bad had happened. And once I really understood that I would never be able to see again, never see my beautiful wife's face, never see the sunset, rain fall, leaves fall from a tree, it was beyond devastating.
As a nurse, I understood that it was going to take this holistic approach to getting him better, heal his body and help him recover. But I knew it was more than that. It was going to take him having purpose again. It was going to take him feeling capable and feeling independent. And it was going to take him having access to resources that would bridge that gap for him.
Eyesight brings so much independence. As I quickly began to understand there was now so many things that I could not do. And for me, I went into depression. I didn't understand what more there was to live for, because I couldn't read, I couldn't drive, I couldn't have independence.
A commander who had served with Scotty came to see him, and he was shaken up. He was crying at the door, and he just said that he was such a good leader. This is such a shame. And I stopped him and I said, he still will be. We've chosen to live a life looking at what we do have versus what we don't have. And so taking those steps forward, we're like, okay, what do we have and where can we go from here? It was very clear from the very beginning of Scotty's injury that technology was going to be the key for us.
OrCam MyEye 2 is great for any eyesight loss, whether it's minimal, whether it's fully blind like myself. The independence and the freedom of life it has given me, I know will be able to help anyone live life more freely and live life more independently. Just the ability to wake up, to put my clothes on, to understand what color of shirt I have, what color of pants I have, to try to live a little bit more socially normal. The OrCam MyEye gives me that freedom.
Especially for the blind, that they have a seat at the table. They're getting to this place where it's like, hey, we belong here too. It's often the small things in our life that make the greatest impact. And technology such as the OrCam is what has blessed our life and given us that adaptability to step up to the plate.
I can now read a menu. I can order what I wish on my own. And the OrCam MyEye 2 continues to enable me to live the life that I had once lived before when I did have eyesight. One of the things that I remember my father and my parents doing for me was reading to us. But I wanted to be that same example to my children, to be able to read to them. And I didn't have that ability. Losing my eyesight, I couldn't read. And once I received the OrCam MyEye, it enabled me to read for them before they went to bed.
That's who the book's written to.
It truly helps me be a better father.
OrCam changed my life in the sense that it gave me an opportunity to have a break. I was able to go read a book myself. I think even just like getting ready in the morning, you know, where Scotty's not just like, I don't know what it is, boys.
Wafer, COS, high fructose corn syrup, pumpkin spice, multigrain cereal.
Pumpkin spice.
Oh yeah. Does anyone want some for breakfast?
Those are moments that I think sometimes we take for granted when we have eyesight.
And so when they see him continuing to push the limits and using technology such as OrCam, they want to know more about it.
But for me, it's then to educate them on what technology devices and how OrCam works and what freedom it gives me. And not only family, but friends and loved ones in the community are beyond intrigued. And then now they want to share it with a family member that they know may not have eyesight.
In using the OrCam, I think one of my favorite moments was witnessing or being there when Scotty shared with our son's classroom, because these kids, they're gonna remember this book that you read to them, forever probably. And they're our future leaders, they're our future inventors, and it gives me, great hope for the future of this world and what we can create.